combine forces and meet at Yarmouk, as it allowed for open battle, and the mobile Muslim light cavalry could engage the slower Byzantine heavy cavalry on their terms. The Byzantine army engaged them in mid-July. The Battle of Yarmouk didn't occur until mid-August. Khalid was in total command of the army, and he was fighting the largest military force in his career. According to traditional Arab sources, there were between 1 and 200,000 Byzantine soldiers, and only 20 to 40,000 Muslim soldiers. For the first 4 days of the battle, Khalid spent them in a defensive countering strategy to Byzantine forces. The battle went back and forth. Although at times each side broke out, there was no clear advantage. On day 4, a successful attack by Byzantine archers resulted in injuries and a Muslim retreat, but it didn't turn the direction of battle. On day 5, Byzantine commander Vahan wanted to discuss a truce. Khalid decided that this was an indication of Byzantine reluctance and decided to press his advantage. He ensured that all exit paths for the Byzantine army were guarded. He then drew up a bold plan of attack for day 6. It involved his massed cavalry driving the Byzantine cavalry completely off the battlefield, leaving their infantry exposed to the Muslim cavalry at their flanks and rear. Simultaneously, a determined attack from his army would strike the Byzantines' left flank and push them toward a ravine to the west. The final day of the battle arrived on August 20th, 636. Khalid ordered an infantry attack on the Byzantine front, while his cavalry attacked their left and rear flanks. The Muslim right wing attacked the Byzantine front, which caused their left wing to collapse, resulting in disorder. Vahan attempted to regroup the heavy cavalry, to regroup and counterattack, but it was too late to stop the Muslim cavalry. Khalid had wheeled his cavalry back and concentrated on the Byzantine cavalry squadrons. They fled by the only available escape path, leaving the infantry exposed. Khalid turned to the Byzantines' left center, which was holding back his two-pronged attack. His cavalry attacked its rear, breaking it apart. Their columns collapsed, and a general Byzantine retreat began. But Khalid's superior topographical knowledge of the battlefield prepared him for this outcome. He took his cavalry north to block the escape path, forcing the Byzantines to a bridge. The bridge had already been captured by Khalid the night before and was blocked by his soldiers. The Byzantine troops were completely surrounded. Some were pushed into the ravines, while others were killed when they attempted to swim away, only to be dashed up against the rocks. Although a few soldiers managed to escape, the Caliphate took no prisoners. They handed the Byzantines an overwhelming and crushing defeat. Traditional sources say that only 3,000 of the Caliphate's army were killed, while 50% of the Byzantine army was killed. The Battle of Yarmouk is considered to be one of the most decisive in history. The Byzantine Empire was doomed in the Levant. Arab armies were positioned in such a way that they could threaten the whole of the Byzantine Empire, and they would do so in later decades when they laid siege to Constantinople itself. Islam had permanently established itself in Syria, one of Byzantium's richest provinces. After Yarmouk, the Caliphate set to conquer Jerusalem in 637. After a 4-month siege, Jerusalem fell. Following Jerusalem's capture, Khalid fought several more battles in northern Syria, before moving on to Antioch and Aleppo. His final act as a commander was conquering the city of Marash in southern Anatolia. Alright, so I wanted to talk about Khalid as an exemplary figure that is, I think, very responsible for many of the successes there, because if you didn't have brilliant military strategy at this time, it isn't enough for southern Byzantium to leave its border defenses empty. If the Byzantine army had won at the Battle of Yarmouk or other provinces, Islam might have been mostly contained to Arabia, but it wasn't. It was able to spread to Syria. It was able to form alliances with shipbuilders and sailors, and then project power with a navy onto Egypt, conquer Mediterranean islands, conquer North Africa, and Islam became the global religion that it is today. So there you go. Those are some of the multiple factors that caused Islam, initially a small religious movement, to envelop such an enormous area of the world. The reasons are manifold. Like I said, the weakening of Byzantium and Persia by warfare and plague, how Islam united a fragmented people and turned a loose confederation of tribes into an organized government, how Arab Christians and Jews were disenfranchised by Byzantium and Persia and turned to the Caliphate, and the extraordinary military leadership of certain figures. So those are some of the explanations of why the Caliphate was so successful. Thanks for listening to the History Unplugged podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the show to get your daily dose of all things history-related, from ancient Greece to the Cold War. We'll see you next time at the History Unplugged podcast.